Hello everybody and welcome back to Cooking with Grandma. Today I'm going to be making a kind of like a veggie meatloaf. This recipe is so versatile. You know, meatloaf is just ho-hum, boring, plain. But I'm going to add a few ingredients to it, kind of jazz it up a little bit. I've got 1.5 pounds of ground beef. You can use ground pork if you like. It doesn't really matter. Again, that's the versatility. You can use whatever ground meat you like. You can use ground chicken, doesn't matter. I'm just using ground beef because that's what I have it on hand. So to this I'm going to chop up some celery real fine, some carrots, a red pepper, and some bacon. And I'm also going to put an egg in my meat. That's going to be my binder. That's going to hold everything together. And I'm going to put in a little bit of brick cheese. I have mozzarella cheese on hand. You can use cheddar. This is a good recipe to kind of use up what you have in your fridge. This is kind of the staples. Everybody has celery, carrots, you know, that kind of thing. It doesn't cost you a lot to, to get these ingredients. What I'm going to do, instead of cutting it up with a knife, I'm going to use my chopper that I bought. I've showed it before on this one, and I did this demonstration on my new channel, Grandma Gives It a Go. So instead of taking the time to cut everything real small with a knife, I'm going to just cut the carrots in half and put them in there and give this, 3 or 4 pulls. Let's see how, I want them pretty small. I mean, I don't want them mush, but I want them to be fairly small so, you don't have big chunks in your, didn't hang on to that tight. Okay, that did pretty good, but I wanted a little bit smaller. See, that was like 5 or 6 pulls, and look how quickly that chopped that carrot. This is an amazing little product. I'm so glad I bought it. I've seen this reviewed on other channels, and maybe it's just the brand that I have, whatever it is, I don't know, but some people find that it made things too mushy, too chopped up. It's working for the hard vegetables. Okay, so that should do. Like, look how nice it would take me forever to get those carrots chopped up that small. And they're all pretty much the same size. There's a couple of bigger pieces, but that's not really going to matter. So I'm going to put that in the bowl with my hamburger. And I'll put the blade back in. I'm going to do the same thing with the celery. Put that in there. It's so much quicker. I've never had one of these before. I've been so tempted to buy one, and I'm so glad I did. I mentioned before, I'm not really a gadget person. I can do the same thing with a knife, but look how quick and easy that is. So let's do the celery. I'm going to give it 4 good pulls. Nope, that's not enough. That's definitely not enough. And another 5 pulls. Pretty much, there you go. And look at how quickly that is chopped up. I mean, there's some bigger pieces than others, but it's okay. It doesn't have to be that uniform. So now the pepper ought to be like the easiest thing. The only thing with this, it is a little bit small, this little container. I mean, I'll have to look around, see if there's a bigger one, but it really doesn't matter because this will do for what my purposes are. It's small, so it doesn't hold a lot, and you do have to cut the vegetables a little bit before you put them in. You couldn't put a whole, stalk of celery. It wouldn't fit, but that's okay. Now with the pepper, it's soft, so I'm just going to give it 3 good pulls. Nope, I need a couple more. It's all trial and error. You don't want to go overdo it. Keep chucking it because you don't want it real small or, pieces too big. So it's better to do a little bit at a time than there. So that was like 6 pulls, 7. So that goes in. No, apparently. Okay, so that is, I'm not going to do it obviously to the cheese or the bacon because, we don't want too small pieces. The cheese I'm going to cut in little cubes and add that in there. I'm going to bake this in a 350 oven for, it's only going to take probably 20-25 minutes. It doesn't take long. Beef doesn't take long at all to cook. And it'll, you know, shrink up a little bit like hamburger does, but that's okay. Depending on how many servings you want, how much burger you need. This is going to feed 5 of us. So, okay, put the cheese in. Put that in there. I just did a little chunk. I didn't measure it. You know, just whatever looks good. Kind of, this is one of those kind of recipes that you just sort of eyeball. There was 4 baby carrots and 1 stalk of celery, and I have 2 slices of bacon here that I'm chopping up. Now I'm not going to cook the bacon first because it will cook while this is baking. Well, the bacon is baking, but yeah, I'm not going to pre-cook it. It will be fine because I'm doing it in the oven, and it'll cook thoroughly. And this is just going to add a little bit more flavor to our meat. When my kids were little, I used to make little mini meatloafs, and they could choose whatever, how much ever, or how little of anything. You know, like my daughter would have just cheese, and my other daughter would have cheese and peppers, where my son would have everything. So just, you know, play around with it, have fun with it. There's no right or wrong, but whatever you want in it. I'm going to add some salt and pepper, probably, you know, just a taste, a couple of teaspoonfuls. You want it flavored. And a couple of teaspoons of salt. Again, I'm just eyeballing it, but you know, you can measure. When you've been cooking, as long as I have it, you know how to measure. You can just eyeball things. And yes, I'm using my hands. I washed them thoroughly before I started this video. It's so much easier to incorporate things in meat like this with your hands than it is a spoon. It can be done with a spoon or a spatula, but it's you get the feel of it. You know when everything is mixed in. If you drop a little out of the bowl, put it back in. So there it is. Look at how quick and easy that was. It was like, you know, 5 minutes or so. 5-6 minutes to chop everything. It would have been a little bit longer had I chopped all these vegetables teeny tiny by knife, by hand, so that little chopper came in real handy. So there it is, mixed in. You got the egg, the celery, the red pepper, the bacon, and the cheese. Now I'm just going to put this right into my loaf pan. I'm not going to grease it first because hamburger has grease in it and it will not stick to the bottom. Just going to push it down evenly, make it all fit. So, you know, you don't want to have one section thicker than others. You want to put it as easy as can be. Now, here's my trick for hamburger. You know, when you make hamburger, when you make meatloaf, it shrivels up, it shrinks. It's going to get, like, go in this way and go in this way. So my trick for that is you poke holes here and there. I just go up and down the whole thing. And this is going to prevent, it still will shrivel up some, but it will be close to being this size when it's done. So now I'm going to put this into a 350-degree oven for approximately 20 minutes, and we're going to see how it looks after that. If it needs more time, then I'll add more time, but 20 minutes should be fine. Okay, so in it goes, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so it has been actually 30 minutes, not 20, because it was a thicker meatloaf. So you can see how little it shrunk. There's just a little bit of a space there and a little bit of a space there. It did not shrink up very much at all, and that was because I put those little holes, and that helped prevent it. So I'm going to cut a piece and show you how it looks inside. Nice and tender. Nicely cooked through. The cheese is melted, and there you can see all the veggies. You can see the peppers and the celery, and there's the cheese, and there it is. So enjoy this recipe. Make sure you like and subscribe, and leave me a comment about what you would like me to make or what you think of this, and stay safe and have a great day, everybody. Bye.